register for a free prize.
Have your attention, please. We would very much like to have a very short awards presentation up here.
First, I guess we'll say he's distinguished. It's Mr. Lowell Williams, who is principal at Lee High School. And our very distinguished guests include Mr. Frank Litton, who is one of our school board members. Mr. Litton, would you please stand?
Providing taxi service to games and practices, arguing with the officials while setting a good example of sportsmanlike conduct, and despite all this, looking forward to next season. Thanks, Kate.
A year ago tonight that Jan was talking about, that we met for the first time, I can remember one thing that I said. I said, we're going to try to do the best job we can humanly possibly do. I don't like individualists in any capacity. Well, I got through the year and I didn't call a newspaper, and I got through the year and thank God I had a bunch of kids that were not individualists, and had one of the best years that I've ever had as far as coaching went. And also about Dr. Bishop. When I took the job, I would not have taken the job had it not been for those two gentlemen. I knew they knew where they were going, and I knew they would be very cooperative. And I could not have made it, nor could we have made it or anything else without either one of them. So I'm very appreciative to them. And at this time, I'm going to present to Lowell a picture over here. If you haven't seen it, it's going to stay right there for the high school, the first football team of the Lehigh Generals. Also, I have back here, unlettered, 2 footballs that I'm going to present to him. One of them is the first football game that a game was ever played at Lehigh. And the reason I'm not going to hand it to him right here, right now, is because it's not lettered. We're going to letter it and get him to put it in the trophy case. It was our first football game at Garden this year. While we were at it, I don't know what significance this had, except if we had a breaking point or a turning point, it happened over at Gate City. So I have the Gate City football saved back from the Gate City football game, which will be put into the trophy case. And without walking over there and getting that. Also, we have a picture here of the general on the horse that Jan has went to extreme to get it here. It's a beautiful picture over here. You can see these later on if you want to. But Lowell, if you would, if you'll just stand up, I'll shake hands with you, and those go to Lee High School and to be put in a trophy case. The club asked me to present. Jan's already said why the first one here, that what it was for. And it is not lettered, and the reason it's not lettered is the same reason there. The art department closed down on me last week and refused to come in and work on footballs. And so this football is not lettered, so I'm going to keep it. But I'm going to ask the person to stand because the Booster Club asked me to present this to him for all the things that he did out there. And Bill McDavid, this is your football, and we hope to get it lettered for you. And the boys later on can sign it. So Bill, if you would stand up again, please, there. I'll read it. Although I want to tell you, I lettered this thing. And nobody is going to see it. We're going to swap footballs and get it re-lettered. But it reads, Jan, our thanks, a job well done, the Lee Generals 1989 Highlands number 1. Boosters are presenting each boy over there right now a trophy with their name on it for a remembrance, same as the cheerleaders there, a remembrance of the first season. I do not give plaques individually or anything like that. Most coaches do, but I found out a long time ago that I'm a whole lot better off when I try to treat every kid exactly the same thing, and I realize it's there. However, there are a few things that I go out of the way. I don't go out of the way for it. There are records that's done throughout Southwest Virginia and throughout most of the United States, and that is we have 3 footballs here to present for 1,000 yards gained during the season, and we have 2 running backs that gained 1,000 yards, and we have Chris at quarterback who gained over 1,000 yards passing. Saw this thing where this boy recently rushed for 1,600 yards during the year, And I looked and checked, and he had exactly 2.5 times as many carries as either one of my kids had that gained 1,000 yards. And people accuse me of intentionally trying to split up yardage, but I never try to do it that way. It just comes and it's there. And I tell you what, we had a good football team. We were well balanced. So at this time, I'm going to ask Chris and Brady and Ronnie if you'll come right over here, please, and I'm going to give you your 1,000-yard football. People, this is a lot of yardage, and these three boys accounted for a little bit over 4,200 yards during the course of the year. I'm giving them the ball. They know this, but most of the reason they got this are standing right along the line, right over there, right behind them. Congratulations for this. Is that yours? Great. Congratulations. Several people remarked tonight when they came in about how pretty it looked down through there. We'd be a lot better off if it didn't look quite as pretty, because all these jerseys hanging up here are senior jerseys. And these are being presented to them. To me, the biggest award that can be given to a boy in high school is to say, we're going to need some coaches to help him there. If we were a basketball team, I'd have some coaches that could reach up there and get those down, wouldn't I? Some of you tall boys, if you wouldn't, or near one, if you'd raise up and get one there. As I was saying, to me, the biggest honor that can be given to a boy is to receive his high school jersey and know that he was a member of the team and the team had done well. And I think this is more important than winning every game that you play. I think it's more important than anything. If you really want that jersey, then you spent a lot of hours to get it. It's not the value of the jersey or anything else. So we're going to start a tradition at Lee High School, and that is that the one jersey will be given to the kids. I would like to say one last thing on the jersey, and I think most of you all have said it to me before, but we not only had a good jersey, but everywhere we went, we received a supreme compliment in the way that we looked. And a lot of this goes back to the uniform, but a lot of it goes to the way the kid dresses and his mannerisms and everything else out on that football field. Some of you never see these things, but Roanoke Times recently had an article right after the Blacksburg game. And it had Lee County, real people, pretty scenery, good sports. Jan just threw it right up here in front of me, and it was there. Now, we never see things right like that. But this gentleman came to Lee County, was here for one day, and one day he drove down to Lee High School, walked around Lee High School, bumped into some of you all in the stands. You don't even know it. But what you said in those stands and everything prompted him to write back and write articles such as this. And we've had many of them. But this article says, and I couldn't read this in a million years, Jan, here, but very basically, he says in the first two paragraphs, I've never been to Lee County before. But if I had a way of doing it, I would pack up my family, my bags, and I would move to Lee County, Virginia. Now, I believe I better leave well enough alone, but I will tell you what the next sentence is, and that is, where else can you go 70 miles and not find a McDonald's? No, what I'm trying to say is, if this man can come down here one time and walk through the stands and talk to people in the stands, and listen to people's comments in the stands, and talk about a game that we lost, and how we reacted like we lost it, and so forth, and write something positive about our place, then somebody somewhere is doing something right. Because we impressed him, and it wasn't me that impressed him, and it certainly, I don't guess that on that particular day, it was our football team that impressed him, but it was the people of Lee County, and that's you all sitting right there. So at this time, I want to ask the coaches, if you will, it won't take them just a second here, to present the seniors with their jerseys, and we're going to have to do this rather than call off all the names again there. Just pass up through there and get the jerseys to the seniors.
I wasn't really finished after all. For all you boys sitting out there, I didn't mean to take any of the limelight away from you in recognition of the Coast and the Booster Club. It was very easy, and we were very proud to follow you all over Southwest Virginia playing football. You are a class act. We're proud of you, and all of you parents sitting out there. These kids have really got something good going for them, so you've done something right. I don't know what, but you really did. So we want to say to the boys that on behalf of the Booster Club, we tried to figure out something we could do for you as a group, as a team. So we decided on January the 13th, we're going to load up on buses and take any of you or all of you that want to go to Gatlinburg for a weekend, and the boosters will foot the bill. We have arranged with the Holiday Inn in Gatlinburg for rooms, and Dr. Bishop says that he fully supports this effort on the part of the boosters. The gentleman that wrote this article was a very nice gentleman, and the very first sentence says, given half a chance, I'd load the family up and move to Lee County. But on through the article, he says, he's talking about Lee County. He says, nevertheless, the people have a quality defined by the much misused term character. We're poor, but we're proud, quote, unquote, Lee High football coach Don Williams said. That's another class act, Don Williams. That man has coached just about everything from girls basketball to tennis to baseball in a long and illustrious career. This year, he presided over the peaceful blending of ancient and bitter rivals, Pennington and Jonesville High Schools, into the Lee High School football program. And with that, I'm going to let Mike Garrett say a few words.
On behalf of the Booster Club, we would like to present to Coach Williams this plaque signifying that he was Coach of the Year of the Highlands District Champions for 1989.
One word on that. I received another award this year that I'm going to be getting a plaque for, which was the Coach of the Year of the state. And I'm going to cut that thing into 7 equal parts. And I'm going to be as proud of my 1/7 of that. And I'm going to present my other 6 coaches with 1/7 of that plaque. I mean, I'm going to cut it into as best I can. Now, Richard Stapleton will cry and says he gets the smallest part. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with my coaches other than that. I've told you how I feel about them. I've told you how I feel about my kids. I have a manager over here who's my son. This is his 9th year of being manager for me, and this is his senior year. I had 4 other managers, and some of those we have back. I've always said you can replace 20 boys, but you can't replace 3 managers. If you lose 3 managers, you're in trouble the following year. And I'm very proud of him and the fact that he stuck it out 9 years with me on that sideline. So thank you very much to our seniors. You're a great bunch of leaders, and you set an example. It's going to be very, very tough for a lot of these other kids sitting here to follow. Thank you. But we've got 5 TVs around through here. And the highlight film will start in 5 minutes. Okay, Susan wants this door prize. Mike, you bring your little girl up here, please. Now reach down in there and get one of those things out there. Now, can you read that name off of there? Oh, and Alan Culbers.